Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and I wanted to talk to you about sex today. Specifically, I would like to talk to you. I'm going to close my laptop. Actually, I'm going to leave it open because I like the vibe of it right there. I don't know why. I feel like I'm in an office with it. Sex. I have been thinking a lot and experiencing sex lately and have some thoughts on it that I'd love to share with you on the topic of being a trans woman and having sex with someone, because it's like an intimate and close interaction. There's a lot that just is revealed and comes out of the closet, or you experience or you express with so much energy that I feel like there's a lot there. It's pretty juicy. I don't know for you, but wherever you are in your transition, sex is kind of like a part of it, right? Unless you're asexual. But I think for a lot of people, sex is a part of the gender transition, especially because gender roles exist within sex and you can deconstruct them, or you can continue to co-create them in a way that can be validating. What is it for you? What do you like to do for sex? Do you like to have validating sex that puts you in the female or male role that you want to be in? And does that feel validating? Or do you prefer to kind of deconstruct and break those boundaries a bit, because that also feels liberating and empowers you? I wanted to kind of talk about my own experience and some of the things that I've been thinking about. And one of those has been kind of like the aspect of moaning, actually. I don't know about you, but I think for a lot of trans women, their voice is a thing that they can be self-conscious about. And when you're having sex, that's sort of like where copulation is important, like making your moans and your groans and whatever other sounds you're going to make to communicate to the partner that you're having a good time, to be sort of attractive in that way, and to engage. As a man, when I had sex, I definitely didn't make a lot of noise. And I really enjoyed when my women who I had sex with would make noises. It's kind of like feedback, it's validating, and it's just hot to hear them moan and groan as you do things to them. I don't know, how do you feel about that? Do you find that hot? So I've worked on my voice, and I've also worked on my copulation. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But sometimes it dries my throat. Like if I just, oh my God. Like those kinds of things are very like in the back. And in doing that, it can dry me out. And sometimes my voice will drop a tone or two when I do it. And when I'm doing it, it actually kind of takes away presence from my experience. Are you ever having sex and you're aware of your gender or how you're communicating your gender, and you may feel a little self-conscious about that, and then it may take away some presence for you? Does that happen too? For me, that definitely happens. I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is feeling good, and now I need to communicate this in a way that is proper to my gender, because if I'm just not thinking about it, I might just go, yeah. It's just weird even doing that, but I have to think about that. And even doing this for like 3.5 years, I still have to be self-conscious about it, especially, I do anal sex and I'm a bottom, especially when shit is going down. Like, you are now losing control of your own experience because you're just like so deep in it. I still have to kind of maintain some level of control to express in the proper way. And, sometimes I forget and go with the flow and enjoy. But I do feel voice is a big part of it. What about you? The other thing that I've started to learn is how to be more present during sex, which sounds like something that anyone could benefit from, right? We all should benefit from being more present. But for me, I don't know how it is for you, but for me, I have a pretty active brain and I think a lot, and that leads to me analyzing. So when I'm having sex, I've noticed that I'm analyzing, or there's like a second version of me that's observing the scene and the experience. And so there's me experiencing, and then there's me watching, observing, and judging the experience. And like how's sex for you? Are you able to just kind of get into it, or do you also have some kind of observer or something that's sitting outside of that experience? I've learned more recently how to turn that off, that second voice, and to really engage with my body and my experience. And the funniest thing is, I actually feel dumber when I do it. Like, I actually feel dumber. And maybe that's because I'm shutting off my analytical brain function and I'm rerouting my experience receptors to my body and the feeling and the experience by just moving my resources. But what I found that benefits that is not only do I become more present, but I become more subtly engaged in reading my partner and connecting with them. And it actually allows us to move a lot further along in our sexual experience together, where we kind of go into some deep little crevices of consciousness and experience. And I love it. I honestly do. And so I'm not sure where you're at with sex, but I do want to highlight this idea, this concept of how to be more present, how to shut off your mind, and find a way in which you can engage. I think we put a lot of emphasis on intelligence and the mind, and so it can feel shameful sometimes to, at least for me, I don't know how it is for you. I'm British too, and British people have a very high pride of intelligence, but I honestly I've been engaging in being dumber while having sex, which has actually just been a great turn on for forgetting about things and just going with it. How's it been for you? How is sex for you now in your gender, wherever you are? How do you find it to make yourself feel more valid while also not having to feel self-conscious about it? What are you thinking? Thanks for joining me today in this sex video that we talk about sex. And thanks to my patrons for supporting me. If you'd like to, check out my Patreon. I have active meditation courses, and we also have live Q&A that's coming up soon. I will see you in another episode. Bye!